Hello and welcome to the GSL Code A. We are going into now Group G. It's Innovation against 3 Kesper Protosses, and it's going to be awesome.
We have a lot of Protoss versus Protoss and Terran versus Protoss coming our way. Innovation is going up against Zest, Stalk, and Hero. And we are going to find out if he is the 3rd Terran player to qualify for Code S.
There will be no Zerg in this group.
Yep.
There will be possibly discussion of Zerg, maybe Zerg versus Protoss if Daedalus Point comes up, but otherwise we're Zergless here. And we're barely have a Terran in here. We may have a Terran advance from Code A today. Possibly, maybe. Innovation's a tough Terran to beat.
Yeah, especially in this matchup. He has like a 70% win ratio against Protoss, and he's definitely one of the Terran players that you want to watch out for. A lot of people want him in Code S. Everybody kind of expects him to be in Code S. But we saw other players like Flash, for example, fall short of expectations and take the 4th place in the group. Everybody is eager to know if Innovation will be one of the few Terrans that is finally going to make an appearance in Code S then later on, because so far it's a very Zerg and Protoss heavy lineup that we see there.
Yeah, definitely so. And Innovation, a player who only has to practice for one matchup, a matchup that he's excellent at, as you said before. So that's really nice for him. At least he doesn't have to worry about playing any TVTs or TVZs. He can be staying focused on one matchup. Here are results from Group H we had this morning.
Yeah, Life and Squirtle, the 2 players that were able to advance today. Life with 2 victories over Paralyze, his Protoss opponent here, first in the first round and then also in the consolation match later on. Squirtle, kind of flawless, dropping a single map against Sky High, advancing to Code S, taking the 1st spot in the group.
Yep, and here we are, our current group, Innovation versus Zest will be our first Terran versus Protoss, and then after that we'll have Stork ending his losing streak that was going on for such a long time, now up against Hero from CJ Entis. Not going to be an easy match. Hero actually winning the ace match in a Protoss versus Protoss against his MVP opponent yesterday, Super, to win that series. So practicing for PvP, going to be playing PvP again.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting group here. It's the first group that we have without a Zerg player competing in, and I actually think that this might be... Well, I think this is definitely one of the higher anticipated groups since we have Innovation playing there. And
yeah, for sure.
Players all over the world are probably going to watch these games now. And as Wolf already pointed out, the one advantage that Innovation definitely has is he has only to prepare for one single matchup, whereas all his other opponents need to prepare for a PvP and also for the Protoss versus Terran. On the other hand, of course, it's a little bit easier for the players that we see facing Innovation today to just look at the matches that he plays in the studio and kind of prepare a little bit to try to find out what exactly he does here. But the Terran player will have a lot of builds prepared, so I'm eager to see what exactly he's going up against.
Yeah, I want to see what he's got to do as well, and we'll see a lot of all-ins against this Terran player who has, obviously, first of all, a really good win ratio in the matchup, plus if you're a Protoss player and you're preparing mostly for PvP, since there's 3 Protoss in the group, when you think about Terran, you might just be thinking, all right, well, I'm just going to all-in him. I'm not really thinking about macro games or preparing a lot of playing a ton of games against Terran. I'm just thinking about these builds that I know on the maps that I can pick when I lose, for example. Going to be aggressive. So I think Innovation has got to keep his guard up. He's got to keep the shield up against all these Protoss opponents he's going to be facing today.
Yeah, especially since we have a few maps that really work a little bit in favor of Protoss. At least there are maps that Protoss players like to pick. Heavy Rain is one of them. Blink Stalkers are very strong on the map. And that's also one of the builds that, for example, a player like Crank used in the Team League finals that we had in Germany at the ATC when he was up against Innovation, and he was successful with it. And here we have the ASA player.
Yep, and here's our KT player, Zest, changing his ID multiple times. Pichogop and Wookie, the IDs he was using before, and he's got a very nice hoodie there. Got undefeated jacket. And of course the Acer hoodie of Innovation looking great. I think he looks good in green.
Yeah, definitely suits him. So green versus red, and let's see who's going to take it today. This is our first best of 3 in our 2nd group here today. Keep in mind that we are going to have a double day tomorrow and the day after as well. A lot of strong players competing in those. Tomorrow, for example, we have Reality, Sora, Hack, and DRG in the first group, and then later we have Supernova, Koka, the Best, and Stats. So a lot of really great games coming your way this week here from Code A in Korea. And I can't wait to find out who's going to go to Code S as well. 2 players will advance from this group, 2 will drop down to Code B. Who's it going to be? Innovation going up against Zest in best of 3 number 1 here at the GSL Code A for Colin.
Innovation versus Zest.
And starting to the top of the map, a player who called himself Bogus a long time ago. He is Innovation, starting here, Team Acer, of course.
There he is.
And going up against the Protoss player, his first Protoss opponent today. Starting to the bottom right of Polar Knight, it is Zest.
Yeah, and a little flavor to our group.
Can say that again. So right now we have also a few information for you, of course, about the matchups here. Innovation, as I pointed out before, has a 70% win ratio against Protoss, so he was probably quite happy looking at what group he found himself in. He is 61-25 in maps. And if you then look at his best of 3 record, it's even more impressive. It's 32-13, leaves him with even 71%, which is kind of insane on the level that he plays. Zest, on the other hand, he has 11-9 in the maps, and just recently lost against 2 Terran players, against Cure and against Maru. And he also played Innovation back in August in WCG South Korea in the qualifier, and he lost against Innovation with a 1-2.
Yeah, and we'll see how this group plays out for him, because for him, I think his chances of getting out are just so solid because of his performance in this matchup, first of all. And second of all, I think we talked about before, his ability to have to only prepare for one matchup, Terran versus Protoss, and not worry about anything else, whereas his opponents have to split their attention, which is why I feel we're going to see some aggressive play out of these Protosses and their Protoss versus Terrans, knowing that that they might not even necessarily play against Innovation, depending on how it goes. So, like, for example, Zest is probably the Protoss who's going to play the most macro-oriented games, I feel, out of the 3, because he knows he's playing Innovation no matter what, and he knows the first map, so you can prepare all of those things just thinking about it right away. And we'll see how Innovation wants to play us. When he comes in here and scouts, we'll see the double gas, and the Reaper Scout following up for him is going to want to identify where the 3rd pylon is.
The fun thing, actually, if you start in the second best of 3 of the day, is that you know already that you can win the group, or you can get out of the group on the back of PvP alone.
Yeah.
If you are Zest, that's not the case, because you could lose to Innovation twice and drop out. But if you're one of the other players that are going to play later on, the 2 Protoss players, they could just say, like, well, screw Terran, I'm just going to go like super all out on PvP, and I can lose to Innovation, that's fine. If I win my PvPs, I'm going to be in Code S.
That's true.
Not going to happen, I think, because that would be gambling quite a little bit, but in theory, that would work.
No, it's a good point. And that's the reason why you're going to focus more on PvP than PvT. I mean, I think just logically speaking...
Yeah, except if you're a Zest, then you have a big problem, because you could actually face Innovation twice, depending on how it goes.
Definitely true.
But he's the only one that, yeah, could suffer that fate. For now, we have a couple of Reapers in the game, and of course a Reaper expand once again here from Innovation with the double Reaper starting into the match. The Mothership Core is to the top left, which means that it is not at home for the defense. We already have the Twilight Council dropped by Zest, so we could see the Blink Stalker build here once again, or even DTs, but the Reapers are going to find out what the tag is, and they might be able to get a couple of kills there. Actually, he moves back immediately upon seeing that Stalker, not even trying to sneak past.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd. He definitely could have tried to force his way around there. I think he will split his Reapers into 2 groups. We've seen Flash do this build a lot in Pro League against Protosses and other Terrans in Pro League as well, as rare as it is to see a Terran in that tournament. When you do see this build, it's usually to punish for the Mothership Core being out of position and also to get scout information, but he's still in the dark here, and Blink is on the way. This is a very aggressive timing because he's adding the gateways right now. He's not doing this with a 3rd base. He's going to put the aggression on right away and see how much damage he can get done to Innovation at the natural.
Yeah, and Innovation back at home, relying on a single bunker so far. Hasn't realized what he's up against just yet, but he's trying to find out. The Reapers once again on the way, already getting a few hits here. But yeah, no problem for Innovation to get into the main base. He sees the Twilight Council, sees the spin, knows about the upgrade, sees the Chrono as well, and knows exactly what's going on right now. So what he's going to try to do is add a couple of Marauders. There they are already. Stim, of course, has been started. If he's able to get that out before the attack hits, that would be great for him. That's going to be very tight and not very likely. And more bunkers are, of course, being started by the Terran player who knows that he will be on the defensive for quite some time.
Yeah, this is true. Forward pylon going up here, and this is just, in a lot of ways, a great map for Blink, because you can blink from behind here into the main base, you can blink from behind here into the natural. From the left side of the map, you can blink into the main base. We'll have to blink twice to get into the main base from back here, but still, if you can get in there undetected, that's obviously ideal. And you can even start to harass over here. He's going to kill these rocks, ice, whatever you want to call it, the ice chunk there. It's just like the sidewalk outside my apartment. I wish I had a group of stalkers to clear that up, but
Yeah, that is one of the things that you don't see all that often in Korea. The ice here is really a little bit annoying. A slippery slope, you could say. For now, we have all those Stalkers going to work, and of course already scouted by Innovation, but here are the ice chunks gone. Here comes the Time Warp, and here comes Zest.
Zest coming in here, good Blink Stalker micro, almost premature actually with how fast he's pulling those Stalkers back. Really good micro here. The bunker does not finish. He's pulling more SCVs down, but it's a bit too late. Dropping mules here. I can't even believe it. He's dead. He's dead in the water. This game is over.
Yeah, Zest is smelling blood in the water here. He's blinking in. He takes down the SCVs. The bunker is finally done, but it's too little too late. He snipes everything. Innovation going down in game number 1 potentially. If not for a miracle, Zest is going to win this map. He's moving into the main base already. There's no bunker that can cover the mineral line here. And as you can see, the SCV is already moving back, trying to force those Stalkers back. Nice blink back. A little bit of a misblink with a few of them, but it does not really matter. So many units already lost, and the harvester count is down to 13.
Yeah, this is
23 workers.
23 workers killed. That's going to be added up as these mules go down.
And one of the things that you can do as a Terran player is come back into the game with the help of the mules. This is why we now see them being dropped in the main base. But with Zest already sniping a few of the mules here at the natural, you can really see that Innovation isn't so much trouble. He's down to 12 harvesters against 36, and the army supply might be even. But just the added advantage in economy is absolutely insane for Zest right now.
Plus, Blink is still going strong without medevacs. Every time that Innovation stims, it costs him hit points that he's never going to get back.
There is a problem, on the other hand, for the Protoss player. He lost his mothership course, so he does not have high ground vision. He cannot go into the high ground any longer, and I think that this attack will have to stop because those Marauders are doing a lot of damage. And actually, oh my god, he doesn't even try to escape. He loses everything here. Yeah. All of the Stalkers are gone, and that's now a big problem. I feel that Zest has the potential of throwing that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised he didn't actually try to... What is he doing with this? I mean, is he crazy?
Well, I thought he would just move back and take the lead that he got, because that was an insane lead that he had there.
What he could do is, doesn't even have to transition, doesn't have to add more gateways, doesn't have to add more robots. What he could have done is just walked away, set up another pylon, and then gone for a second wave that Innovation would not have enough units because his production is so limited.
Yeah, wait for a mothership. Because the thing is, like, a lot of times when you actually see this and the Terran player somehow holds, he will be in an advantageous situation because he has a much better tech. But Innovation didn't even have a factory or anything like it, whereas Zest was already starting to transition out of it a little bit, adding the additional gateways. Now he lost his entire army, and that's getting a little bit scary. Because, of course, he's ahead in economy. He has a really, really solid income here. But losing all of the Stalkers, basically for nothing, that was shaky. But at least he's picking up right now.
He just has the economy. Innovation doesn't have medevacs. His units are all low in hit points.
Innovation goes for counter-aggression because he says, like, well, I just killed all of his Stalkers. I have the better army. If I go down, maybe I can... down to the bottom of the map, maybe I can do a little bit more damage. But Zest is now going to apply pressure once again. And as long as he does that, he will still be at an income because Innovation will have to reinvest more in units than he does in economy and SCVs.
The Natural's wide open on this map, and he's going to need bunkers, which he can barely afford against Charge Zealots. And looks like potentially Archons as well. He's got enough Stalkers, so he's just saying to himself, oh, do not lose his Mothership Core, Zest. Alright, picks off a few Marines here. What he's basically saying is, alright, I'm going to just invest all my minerals into Zealots because I've got enough Stalkers for range, and then I'm going to spend my gas that's left over on probably just one Archon even, is all he's going to get. The factory is only now completing, which means, again, no medevacs for the engagement. He's really put a lot of money into rebuilding his SCV count, which is giving him a little bit better production, but still. He doesn't even have Archons. He's got way too much. No bunkers ready here. The Stalkers blink forward.
No medevacs, no support here. And, well, one Marauder after another is going down, and that natural, he has to give it up once again. He's losing SCVs, he's losing mules, and he is eventually going to lose this game. I mean, Zest cannot possibly throw this. He has such an advantage, it is insane. He blinks back with the Stalkers, the Zealots charge to the front, one Marauder after another dies, and the GG has been called. Zest takes game number 1 in the best-of-3 series against Innovation.
Reminding Innovation of that Kesper Power, that KT Rolster team that's so strong. I mean, he's training with players like Flash, and he's, of course...
Flash, the guy who went 4th place in his group.
Hey, don't count Flash out, man. When it comes to 1v1s, like best-of-1s, and preparing all-ins, Flash is a great player to train with.
Yeah, that doesn't help him in WCS Korea, though.
Well, Innovation's game was pretty shaky here, I have to say.
Well, it was a tough map to play as well. I mean, you talked about it basically. There are so many points where you can blink in, so Innovation definitely has... This is a little bit his Achilles heel. It was something that happened to him also at the ATC Finals against Frank, as I said already earlier.
I feel like his mistake in this game was just simply not scouting for the Twilight Council. He had the 2 Reapers, and he didn't go all the way in. He did not commit to finding out exactly what his opponent was doing. And if you do that, you find yourself blind, and then you get blindsided, literally. I mean, nobody expects a Blink Stalker attack to come in from behind the ice.
Well, he prepared for the Blink Stalker. He had one pilot, he just didn't expect the position. He enforced the wall at the front with the second one. He got one in his main base, but he didn't account for the ice block at the back, and that's why he was missing the basically 3rd or 4th bunker, you could say, that he needed.
Bella's map choice is Frost, a map where we'll probably see a much longer game here at the GSL Code. This is Innovation versus Zest.